here in the studio with my lovely wife, Misty. Good morning, Misty.
Good morning.
Wanted to ask you something because you and I both grew up on small towns.
Mm-hmm.
We were both townies.
Mm-hmm.
And we get hot weather like this. I mean, really, really nasty hot weather like this. When you were growing up, what did you guys do in your little Indian town when it got this hot?
Indian town.
I say Indiana town.
Indiana.
Indiana town. That's Tom Petty way.
It depends on what age bracket you're talking. If
in your single digits.
Single digits, we rode bikes. We played in the hose.
Yeah.
Played in the neighbor's hose.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we got in trouble there, we went to the next neighbor's hose.
Right.
Well, for the most part, I remember we didn't really realize it was hot.
Yeah.
And we rode bikes a lot all over town.
Even in the heat.
Even in the heat. I mean, we didn't even realize it was hot. And my cousins had a camper outside, and a lot of times we had our club, like back in the days of the Dynamite magazine.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we had the Dynamite Club.
Yeah, the Dynamite Club.
We had our skateboards and stuff out there doing, tricks, if that's what you would call it.
Being able to stand on the skateboard for any period of time.
Yeah, nobody really won,
Yes.
But it always ended up being in my brother's Tonka truck, riding in the back of it, scooting down the hill, seeing who can go the fastest. It's like, nobody ever won again, but we had fun. That's what we did.
Yeah, we always had the sprinklers.
Yeah, we had sprinklers too.
Yeah, we do had the sprinklers around there because nobody had a pool.
Right.
And being in the town wasn't the richest section of town. Some folks had pools, but we weren't. Invited, being kids, we were going to go to the pool. But we would have every once in a while we tried to ride the bike through the sprinkler.
That don't work.
It does until you fall off, and then you figure out how to patch up your blood when you fell off. But no, we did. What usually happened was, growing up in the late '70s or mid to late '70s, not everybody's house had air conditioning.
Right.
So a lot of folks had the windows open and big fans and stuff. If some kid had air conditioning, they suddenly became the most popular guy in town.
I don't think I would have known what that was.
What air conditioning
I don't
was?
think it would have mattered at that, Is it fun? No.
Well,
because there's nothing to do inside the house,
Except to have air conditioning.
There was no trees to climb, there was no clubs in the house.
We had plenty of trees. I mean, we had plenty of trees to climb. It's just the problem was when it got this hot and nobody had air conditioning, you didn't have a whole lot of movement. Like, people didn't move very much. You rode the bikes because that was your air conditioning.
Yeah.
I mean, that would the only way you can build up any wind was there, because we didn't have any hills. You had hills.
Yeah. You
could just coast your bike down the hills, and we didn't. In Muhammad, Muhammad is pretty flat.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what we would, make. We'd go up like the Newport Hill, and come down it, and we'd get to the point. I mean, there wasn't a lot of traffic in Newport, so ramps were built,
right,
or makeshift ramps.
Yeah,
kids would jump them, and of course, come down the front tire and flip and things like that. Stupid things.
Yeah,
we'd play at the bank. We'd play touch football behind the bank, and
a lot of fireworks this time of year.
Oh, we was always shooting off like the one of the bottle rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were like year round.
Setting houses on fire. Well, that is in Indiana.
No, we almost set a cop car on fire once. Oh, blew it up right up underneath it.
I'm not editing.
I doubt we would have caught on fire, but
I'm not editing that out. We had was in Illinois. There was firework laws, so we didn't have a lot of that going on legally.
Right.
Like you can.
We didn't either. We didn't have dog leash laws. We don't.
Yeah, we had all that.
We
stuff,
did.
So.
No.
So
we was
the best
down Hope country.
Best we had was little snakes. Those little snakes and watching.
We had a kid that used to go down the river, and you always knew, he'd got a good harvest because there he'd be, and they'd be hanging off his arms and running on his bike with no hands, holding snakes.
You're talking real snakes.
Yeah, from the river.
I'm talking about firework snakes.
Oh, firework snakes. Oh, those just burn up your sidewalks. All those do.
We ran away from the real snakes.
Oh no.
Well, the worst real snake experience I had was during a real hot day like we've had, and it was in the house of Muhammad, and you've been there. Mm-hmm. My mom still lives in the house I grew up. Uh-huh. It was a lot smaller then. We had a little back porch, and there's a swing set in back, and we had a sprinkler going. And here's a little 8-year-old Eric with just basically swim trunks on. I'm going to go out, and I had some of my cousins were in the back with my sister. And my mom is watching Guiding Light in the afternoon because she always watched Guiding Light in the afternoon. And I just remember saw the Dickens. I come out the back porch door, barefoot, and about ready to step down, and I see an open snake's mouth.
Huh.
To me, it could have been 8 feet long at that point. No. And I'm like, whoa, get back in the house and head back in. Mom, there's a snake out back. And I know that the girls are out back, you know. Uh-huh. And she says, no, there's not.
Oh, nice. Oh, get over yourself, Eric.
No, there's not. You're exaggerating again.
She just didn't want to leave the show till commercial.
Well, there is that. Plus, you know, I was just a younger version of me. It's not like I always told the truth. But she eventually get her to come back there, and she comes back and says, oh, that is a snake. And my grandfather came over and took the old garden hoe,
right,
and finished him off. And the girls just scream, you know. They're not much older than me. Or Beth's younger than me at the time. There's a old king snake, about 3 feet long.
Wow,
it was a decent sized snake, and we never saw anything like that again around. We saw little garter snakes every once in a while, but. You know, for an 8-year-old, that was...
Well, yeah.
It's just like, whoa.
I remember the first time I seen a snake. It was actually my first lesson that a woman can be awesome. It was, the first time I ever seen a woman really step up to the plate and just be awesome.
Yeah, what happened?
We was over in my cousin's yard next door playing on... She had one of those... like the handlebar, what is it called? You cross them by the hand.
Oh, yeah.
Jungle gym type thing. And, of course, all the neighbor kids was around from, several blocks away. And some of them was playing kiss tag and whatnot. Some of us were climbing the trees, which I was doing, and some were playing. And what's funny is we got a video of this, and some of the kids are actually wearing long sleeves, with shorts. Some of them are in bikini bottoms with a sweatshirt. One kid actually, he had on a pair of long jeans that he had them rolled up.
Yeah,
he had a T-shirt on, one of them old sweatshirt type jackets.
Yeah. And
a winter hat with a ball on top. That's how he was playing.
That's a motley crew you got
there. We don't know what type of weather it was.
Yes.
But anyway, I was coming off the tree down the rope and coming down to cross the road, and all of a sudden I seen a snake. I was like, I stopped in my tracks.
Right.
And I'm like, oh dear. And every time I went to move, it came toward me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, it's like, and I stepped back again. He'd come at me. Of course, I'm froze. I'm like, what do I do?
How old are you at this time?
Oh, my gosh, probably about 7, 8.
Oh, yeah. So any snake's going to be freaking you out.
And so I'm like, I'd step forward thinking maybe I could stomp it, like the ground's going to shake and literally scare the crap out of it, It's like, but I stomped, and of course it didn't move. It just raised its head.
Yeah, it just got angry.
And so I started like, I'm going to run, just run,
Yes.
Take a step. No, I'm froze. I can't move. This thing's after me, and his mouth's bigger than I can think of,
Right.
So the neighbors go and get Rita Bond next door. She was the farmhand type. She had everything you could imagine out there. She could whack a weed and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And she comes over with the hoe. She's it's just a garter snake. She's chop. And I'm like, I'm about to...
My hero.
What an amazing woman, Wow. She just took authority over that.
She took that snake out with one chop.
Yeah.
Well, we had that snake in a backyard for a while, and we bring people back. There's a snake we had in our yard. Of course, we had some folks who are farm kids out, and they were like, what? That's all you heard? I see that every morning when I get up. I have it in my bed when I wake up. What's the problem with you? There's farm kids, something else. Thank you, hon. Have a good morning at work.
Yeah, I'm gonna.